So, Dave, congratulations on the film.
Thank you.
Dave John's romantic lead. I mean, did you ever think that you would hear those words together in the same sentence?
No, I didn't. No, I mean, 64. I never thought I would be having bedroom scenes.
We'll come on to that in a moment.
Yeah, no, romantic lead. Why not?
So, was that the reason for taking the role?
What to get a chance of having a crack at Alison Steadman?
Well, apart from that, but because it was different to anything else that you've ever done.
Yeah. It was Paul talked to me a few years ago. He had a meeting with him in a cafe, and he said, "I've got this really good script. Will you have a look at it?" He goes, "And if you like it, I've got an idea to get you and Alison Steadman together." And I mean, who wouldn't want to work with Alison, And I went away and I read the script, and I thought it was very sweet and very gentle. And it was nice because, people don't write romantic movies for, people over 60. I think people think we're all just dead and we just need to sit in a sort of, in a sheltered housing unit and look in our memory box. And I think it's something different and something new and something that there should be a lot more romances for older people.
So you obviously jumped at the chance then.
Yeah. It was just a really nice, sweet script, and we filmed it over 3 blocks of 2 weeks. So we got the seasons, and it was a nice gentle way of working. And, to work with Alison, I've always been a fan of her work, because she comes from the same sort of stock as me. She worked with like all her earlier work was improvised with Mike Lee, and I'd come work with the Comedy Store Players in London, and I come from an improvising stand-up background. So it was a delight to get to work with her,
Now, of course, we know you best for I, Daniel Blake. This is a much gentler film, but it does actually have its sort of political moments. I mean, say when you're in the housing department, for example.
Yeah, I did have a bit of a flashback to that.
Well, I wondered if you felt perhaps a bit more comfortable when you were working on a film that did actually have some sort of political angle to it or a political message.
Well, I think there's a lot of, of leeway for films to, have a political message and to have a, whatever type of message that they want to portray, but it's also to entertain as well. And I did feel that I remember shooting that scene in the benefit office, and it was very much, it felt like Daniel Blake, and I had to look across to make sure it wasn't Ken and I wasn't having a flashback. I was thinking, I've not done this scene before. But no, I mean, it's nice to have a political sort of and have some social realism. And I think, because there's a lot of, I think a lot of people, especially with what's going on with coronavirus and people losing their jobs and people struggling with rent, a lot of people who have made their way are going to find the sharp reality of losing their jobs. And I think, to highlight the bureaucracy of, that social housing, there isn't that much social housing around now from when I was a kid. So it's nice to highlight something, but I think also films have to entertain as well, I said films as well. I always say film instead of film.
That was 2 L's, yeah.
It's the Geordie.
I know. We've already spoken about Alison Steadman, your co-star, and she was obviously one of the reasons why you took the role. So what was it like working with her, and did you get embarrassed in those romantic moments?
We had a few moments, but Alison's done a few of those, throughout her career. She did one with she was telling me about one she did with Tom Jones, and sort of in her heyday, So basically, it was quite at the age of 64, I didn't think I was going to be doing bedroom scenes, but they're all tastefully done, and they're more sort of last of the summer wine than Game of Thrones. Very. But the 2 scenes that we do, they're very real. They're very real. It's about 2 people who've met in later life, and when it's that sort of, are we going to bring this relationship to the physical? And that's always, I would imagine, a very difficult thing to get your head around if you've been on your own for a while and you're sort of older, and it's not, you don't have the mad tempestuous craziness of youth, you know. So I think it's dealt with very, 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 very truthfully, I think, you know.
So it was announced a while back that there was going to be a sequel to Fisherman's Friends.
Yeah.
About them being at Glastonbury. Now,
yeah.
that was supposed to be
Well, we were supposed
next year, but
well,
you know, who knows?
We were supposed to be shooting it this month.
Really?
Isaac, yeah, but with the COVID and stuff, so it's going to be done. It looks like we're going to be doing it next sort of spring, sort of April, May.
But you're going to be in it.
Yes, I'm going to be in it
because I had so much. That. Oh, that's great.
Well, I had so much fun doing it. I mean, we were like, you know, when we shot the first one, we were down in Port Isaac with, you know, James Purefoy and Danny Mays and Tuppence Middleton and Davey Heyman. And we just got on so well, the crew, and it was in this little tiny village, and it was just idyllic. We had a great weather, and it was just such good fun doing the songs and that, you know. So, and when it was such a hit, we jumped at the chance. I jumped at the chance of doing it again, you know. And I'm just sad that I'm not doing it this month, you know, because I had a couple of films in the pipeline, but they all got pulled because of COVID. So I'm going to be sort of waiting until next year. I think I've got a couple of films coming off next year if they can get this vaccine or whatever they need to get, you know. So I forget I'm in a vulnerable position now. I'm over 60. They always go, you're in a vulnerable, and I'm going, I'm not vulnerable. I go, oh, hang on a minute, I'm nearly a pensioner, aren't I? I forget. I keep thinking I'm about 26.
So you'll be raring to go. Now I've got one last question for you. How's your Spanish? How much have you remembered from the film?
Me gustaría eso. Primero, hay algo que debo decirte. Quiero que las cosas queden claras entre nosotros. No, I don't have any Spanish at all. I'm sure anybody with Spanish would go. But I learned it. But we had one of the camera assistants who was Spanish, and you always just look at him and go, "How does that sound?" He goes, "For an English person, that sounds pretty okay." So yeah.
That's a
the next film I do next year, it's shot in Belgium, and I've got to speak French. So I'm going through all the languages.
That'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Dave, muchísimas gracias.